Hello, everybody, and welcome on back to Comic Conquest. Today we're talking about a Moon Florida Man.
Yay.
This joke is still funny, and it's hilarious, and no one can tell me otherwise.
Do you remember what the episode's called? Because I do not. It's
not...
The Friendly Type.
Yeah, you know what? Sure. Let's get into it. Let's talk.
This episode was gad. It was hype. Episode opens kind of where we left off with Marc, I believe.
Yep.
In Egypt. We also saw Layla in talking to someone important to her.
Who's her mom?
Going back to Cairo. And her backstory a little bit, but I don't really want to talk about that because we had a lot of talking about just main story-wise. Marc.
Yep.
He is hunting motherfuckers down, looking for where Arthur Harrow is digging.
Yep.
And we see him get to these guys that are stabbing someone, and he starts fighting. And August, he
blacks out because Steven's like, no, don't kill him. He's just a kid. And then
he
like,
blacks out, and then there's and sorry. And everybody's dead. And he's like, Steven, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Steven's like,
and then he's like, maybe whatever. And then he wakes up in a taxi, and he's like, and then he sees the people, and the people are like, no. And then he's like, he gets into like this cliff area, right? He blacks out twice, I believe, and then he goes to the cliff area. And Khonshu is like, bring him to the ledge.
Bring him to the cliff. He'll talk. Kid's hanging by his scarf, and he's just like, yo, Amit cuts his thing and just falls off, and Khonshu's like, oh shit.
Dude, Khonshu's literally chilling at the edge of the cliff like, oh fuck, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
Khonshu's like, oh, we'll meet with the gods or whatever. He summons a solar eclipse for like 5 minutes, and then they reverse it, and then there's a portal. And Marc is like, are you coming? And then Khonshu's gone. He's like,
I'll be there. Yeah.
And then we see all the avatars for all the Egyptian gods. We saw Horus and other lady and other lady and other guy, and
it doesn't matter. They're in it for 5 seconds, and they're like, all right, let's put you on trial. And then Khonshu takes over Marc's body,
possesses Marc,
and he's like, I accuse Arthur Harrow of trying to summon Amit. And they're all like, damn, that's a wild accusation.
Let's talk to Arthur.
Good thing we've got Arthur backstage. Come on in, Arthur.
Arthur walks in. And he's like, L plus ratio, plus you have mental illness, plus you're stupid, plus Khonshu's a lying whore. And then Marc's like, shit, I guess you're right.
All the gods are like, yeah, we're not gonna look into this at all.
Yeah.
I was expecting Marc to be like, can you please just lift up his sleeve?
Like, just watch him for 24 hours.
Just look at him, like, follow him, tail him back. Can someone fucking he's killed I feel like he needed a Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
He's not a very good lawyer.
He was not able to stand up for himself, and they shit on Marc the whole time.
Yeah.
And also was a note that they were in the middle of the Pyramid of Giza.
Yeah.
We saw Steven like freak out. He's like, oh my god, the Pyramid of Giza.
God, we're in the Giza.
And then they were like, L plus ratio, plus you're stupid. And then all the gods leave, and then one god, the god of love, stays, who apparently has a relationship with Khonshu. And it's like, yo, you're looking for the tomb of...
You gotta look for this priest guy.
Architect guy.
Yeah, architect, because he's the only one who knows. And, he's probably on his coffin or some shit.
Yeah, and then Marc is like,
that's wild.
Okay. And then Marc is in the streets of Egypt like,
yo!
And then Layla's like, yo, bitch! And then,
yo, I also collect things. I know this guy, and we're gonna go there. And then they're on a boat, and they're talking about, oh my god, I love you. Maybe I love you, maybe I don't.
And it's also note that he talks a little about the mental illness he has. Of course, that he had it under control up until recently for some reason. I figure that's something you would tell someone that you're about to marry is like, hey, I got a thing. But you know what?
Hey, this is like kind of psychotic.
But we get a little more of that backstory, and we go to I forget the guy's name. They go to like this super rich guy's outside museum thing.
Yeah, it's a collector, and this is actually the guy that died right before.
Yeah, he passed away,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
skiing accident. He was supposed to be Midnight Man, which is just evil Moon Knight, I think.
I'm not 100% sure, but
But anyway, he's got it.
yeah.
He's got a bunch of things, and he's just kind of there. And they're like, "Yo, can we look at this tomb?" And they're like, he's like, "Yeah, sure, I guess."
Yeah, and
wait,
he's
you're
like,
married, Layla?
wait, let me ask you the question. And then Marc is stupid, so he's like, I actually don't know. And then Layla's like, let Steven out, and he's like, no. And then he's looking at the tomb, and Steven's in the fucking reflection at the top, which is a cool shot, by the way. I should mention,
Yep.
all the cinematography in the show has been sick.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, piece the things together, and then fucking, they're like, what are you doing? And then Arthur Harl's like, he's fucking you guys over. And then it's like, oh shit. And then Khonshu's like, you bitch. And then he's like, Arthur Harl's like, let me show you what I could do. And he's like, bazooka.
Let me show you that this is all real. And he's like, I love the cheeseburger.
Chiba Booga. And he blows up the tomb.
Coffin. Yeah. Sarcophagus, the Egyptian thingy.
And it's like, oh shit. And then all of a sudden Layla's like, what are we gonna? And then Marc's gone.
They all look up, and there's Marc.
He's standing there in the costume with the moon behind him, and he beats the shit out of people.
He does the jump. He got the big old crescent cape. That doesn't make sense how that works. Fuck it, who cares?
It's cool.
It looks cool.
And
he comes down and he just starts beating ass.
He's beating the shit out of people, and we should mention, he does the random bullshit go thing, but doesn't say it. He doesn't say it, but he does do that.
We're so close to perfection. But he does his
it's actually a pretty good fight scene.
Yeah.
Choreograph wise, a little mix of CGI, I think, with some of the stunts, of course.
Really?
Yeah. And then Steven's like, I don't really like this part of the episode. I think we'll get more into it in a bit, but Steven is like, don't hurt people. So he switches in, and he's like,
Mr. Knight.
Yep, and he's like, guys, time out.
Time out. Let's just talk about it. Let's chill.
And then some guy comes up behind him, stabs him in the chest, and he's like, he's like, Marc, just do it. And then Marc comes back.
They all just
he just eventually gets like pinned down by all the fucking javelin spear things, and then he takes off the mask for some reason. As Layla's getting charged by the horseman, and he breaks out because he's a superhero, and then he's like, "No, I'll save you," and then he
tackles and then fucking backhand
kills
throws the guy, and he's maybe dead. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, yeah. His suit his cape absorbs bullets. His body absorbs javelins like it's nothing, and then can break them off. I mean, Khonshu did say, like,
yes,
you have the armor of you need my armor of healing or some shit like that. And blah blah blah. But I think
because there's a part of this episode where Marc is like, "Well, I'll just do this without you, Khonshu," and Khonshu's like,
"No."
But we find out the sarcophagus is blown up, and they take the pieces of the map that's blown to pieces somehow, still alive, even though it kind of lit on purple fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Good shit.
And they drive out to the desert, and they're trying to piece it together, and it's like, and then he's like, they can't figure out, and Layla's just like, let Steven out, let good old Stevie Weeby out. And Marc's like, no, and then he's like, okay. And he breaks off the thing, and Steven comes out. He's like, "Oh, cheers, mate." Great acting, by the way, on Oscar Isaac's part this episode, I think.
Yeah, he was able to just seamlessly go from Marc
seamlessly
to a
switch
different guy.
And Steven, of course, puts together a constellation that will triangulate the bullshit. But the issue is the map was made 2,000 years ago, and stars drift over time, so the constellations are not exactly in the same place. So Khonshu comes out. By the way, we should say the gods hate Khonshu.
Oh yeah, they're like, yo, Khonshu, if you fucking do that, if you do that shit again, after he does the whole solar eclipse thing, they're like, you fucking do that again, we're gonna put your ass in stone, okay? And he's like, noted, yeah.
Yeah. And Khonshu's like, I remember that night. Like,
I remember every night.
Khonshu voice actor just so much pain in those like 2 lines. I was like, holy shit. He's like, I remember everything. And so Khonshu's like, I could do this with Steven's help. And we get a pretty cool scene, I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of happy with this scene in particular. Where Steven puts on his suit, the Mr. Knight suit, of course, and he's like, ah! And then everything's like,
scrolling on an iPad.
Yeah, and then like Clay was like, yeah. And they try to get to him, but the gods are like, well, Khonshu's at this bullshit again.
Because they show everybody, like at least in Egypt, everybody's seeing this. Like fucking everybody's seeing the sky just spaz the fuck out. And instead of being like, well, shit, I guess this is the apocalypse. I'm gonna guess that the MCU Earth is just like,
oh fuck.
Fuck. Shit.
And then you see Arthur Harrow be like, you dumb bird.
Yeah, he's just like, haha, you're stupid.
And the gods start sealing Khonshu away as they're still rewinding time, and Khonshu's like struggling, and Marc's like, I can only hold it so long.
I can feel his power fading.
Yeah, and the suit like starts to like actually deteriorate off Marc as Khonshu is, or not Marc, sorry, Steven, as the bullshit's being blown away, and he gets sealed in the little Khonshu statue.
Yeah, but Layla gets the lock, and then we triangulate shit. But then Khonshu's like, Steven, tell Marc to save my ass, and then he's gone.
Yeah. Like, and then the episode ends with Arthur in the Pyramid of Giza. Like, is he listening to us?
We think so.
And the guy, and Arthur's like, you know, once I ruin this fucking world, it's only because of you, you little pussy bitch. And Khonshu just has to accept that. We'll get to the review. I think August. That was essentially what happened, unless you have something to add.
No, not really.
We should get to the review of this episode. August, what
I was really happy that we started to see some more of the violence, the actual fighting. Got to see Marc fucking murder some people. It was very nice.
Or is it Marc?
Not right now. No, like when it was Marc and he was killing people, okay? Right? But I really hope they start to really lean into that, because Kevin was like, we held nothing back. Bullshit. Looks like you're holding some things back.
Number review, August. What do we think in this episode?
I'd give it an 8, solid 8. I was entertained the entire way through.
I was really entertained. And it was hard for me and August watch these episodes individually, of course, and then it's hard for me not to text August and be like, holy shit, they just...
It's even harder for me because I watch it first thing in the morning on Wednesday, and I don't know where Cole is, but I'm like, fuck.
I just want to be like, cake. But anyways, 8 easily. This episode was gas, and I think the next episodes, we're now getting to this point where it's like, hopefully shit just goes mad. And everything I was saying about the previous episodes applies to this episode twofold. Yeah. All right, August, let's get to the predictions here. There's a lot of
predictions.
First off, I want to say, all you like MCU stan bullshit people that are like, the purple thing in the sky, Khonshu broke the shut the fuck up. Khonshu's not breaking the multiverse. He's just rewinding the stars. And you idiots that think that, they're like, Khonshu and Steven were holding back the multiverse like Doctor Strange in No Way Home. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I haven't seen any of that, but that's fucking...
There's so many people. The purple I'm like, no. Okay, I just want to get that out the way. Obviously, the biggest prediction here, August, that I think we need to talk about is
Jake.
about
Good
Jake,
old
the taxi
Jake.
driver.
So, I think if you've watched anybody else's Moon Knight review, they're gonna be like, well, clearly Jake was the one who asked that woman out at the start of the show to the steakhouse. So my guess is Jake's gonna be this womanizer. It's like, yeah, okay, that's a pretty good prediction actually. So, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. It sounded like I was gonna insult them, but.
I don't watch anybody else's videos except ours because ours are superior. Jake, it's interesting that they chose to introduce something this late in the game.
Well, I mean, it's only halfway.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I guess if this were a movie introducing something in the second half, it's not unheard of. It's a plot. Yeah, so never mind.
But
that point doesn't make sense.
What do we think about Khonshu? What like, of course, Khonshu sealed away. Is the next episode break Khonshu out of God jail?
It might be. There might be I think what we're gonna see is a debate between Marc and Steven. Like, what the fuck do? We don't have our powers, right? We're clearly Khonshu wasn't creating one of us, so we're just fucking insane regardless. So that sucks. But like, we don't have the suits, we don't have unlimited bullshit to throw.
We can't get stabbed and
yeah, we can actually die, I think. So we gotta figure that out.
Yeah, so there's been I don't watch all the trailers, right? So maybe this might be going off topic, but there's a trailer that they showed a TV spot of Steven in an someone in one of the personalities in an all white outfit in like an all white, like,
looks like an insane asylum.
Yeah. So I think that might be next episode, like dealing with Marc, like dealing with how Khonshu. Marc has to kind of not just Marc. All the personalities in this body have to accept that they're just fucking crazy without Khonshu.
Yeah.
Or they're, I don't want to say crazy. They're disabled.
They're ill.
They're mentally ill. Yeah.
Unwell. I don't know. I'm so
sorry. So I'm interested to see. I mean, the show, they could fucking go nuts. Khonshu, Arthur Harrow. I honestly, find out, right?
But I do think we're gonna be seeing, like, I know last week I was saying that Khonshu might just punish these fuckers for, like, messing up bad, and I think that's still a possibility, that he's like, you didn't save me soon enough, so you're just gonna be my employee at this point, and you can't die, okay? I'm changing.
That's a good note. Khonshu seemed really friendly this episode, kind of like he was kind of like, I don't know how to say it, like he was like, help me.
I think it's because he had to show Marc that he's a little bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, he had to go in front of the other gods and be like, hey guys, hey guys, what's up? And then they're like, shut the fuck up, huh? Where the last two episodes, that's been what, like, Marc's been like, it's like, hey Khonshu, and Khonshu's just been like, fuck off, huh, you little bitch. So
you're right.
I think it's them relating to each other, that they're little shits.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you have to deal with the third personality if he's in there.
I think so. I think at this point it's been heavily teased, and I think that's what they're gonna do. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he'll have a suit, but I definitely think that Jake will be more of like the gruff kind of Indiana Jones.
I think that's actually a great analogy. The Indiana Jones, like, kind of on the beaten trail. I also want to say the Mr. Knight comedy thing. There's that bit, of course, in the fight scene where he, like, makes a joke about getting the shit kicked out of himself. I'm not the biggest fan of that, I'll be honest. I don't know how to feel about it. I did like at the end where they make Steven and Mr. Knight more badass, right? That he has to help Khonshu. And I think it would be a dope twist if they make Mr. Knight more of, like, the supernatural, like, power focused thing. Like if they want to do that, where Marc is more just fucking beating the shit out of people.
Yeah, Mr. Knight's the detective,
Yeah.
supernatural kind of guy. Yeah,
I think that would be
that would
good.
work.
But I don't like using Mr. Knight as like, oh, I get the shit beaten out of me because I don't know how to fight. I don't like that.
Yeah. And again, I think it's a lot that Steven's just learning.
Yeah, that's true.
It's an origin story. We got to remember that. So identities will emerge if they're not there already. Just like Jake, how we're like, whoa there.
I'm interested to see where this goes. This show's, I was gonna say maybe my favorite MCU show, but we haven't gotten all of it yet. So we'll see. I'm really excited for next episode.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been good so far. Enjoyable. Nice 3 episodes coming up. Yeah.
Yep.
So
like, comment, subscribe.
That's about it.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week
for Moon Knight episode 4.
Okay, goodbye.